7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bam.
Awesome.
You're in a headlight.
Did you? Is that your practice face? Yeah, that
That's like the
shock face.
we're on. Holy crap!
We're
it
on.
worked.
Yes. Greetings and welcome to season 4 of IFB Interfleet Broadcasting. I'm NYPete, and this is my best friend Chris, the Tipsy Toaster.
Yo.
And yeah, we want to thank you for tuning into our news and pop culture sci-fi entertainment channel. Full disclosure, Chris and I grew up on 70s, 80s TV, movies, comics, cartoons, and we're big Battlestar Galactica fans. So welcome to our corner of the universe, and it's our Halloween special, guys. It's hard to believe that
Pete does look scary too, by the way.
Yeah, hey, check it out. Da-da-da. Look what I got on.
That's pretty nice.
You like that?
Show the back. Show the back. Show the back.
Yeah. I gotta show the back. Show the back.
Hang on. Wait.
Yeah, come on.
Hang on. Wrong one. Hang on.
Wrong one. Again. I'm gonna torture you, man.
There you go.
All right, got it?
Got it.
That's it. Battlestar Galactica, baby. All right. I was inspired by our trip to Comic-Con, where we saw a lot of Star Wars stuff and shirts and things, and oh my god,
Star Trek stuff was amazing.
Yeah, it was. So hey, I was like, what the hey? I'm gonna jump in there and get a Battlestar Galactica shirt. It was on Etsy and it was on sale. And since we didn't really, we didn't get a lot of stuff from Comic-Con this year.
Not a lot. I spent enough.
You got it. Yeah, we spent. I mean, yeah, we did. We purchased some things, but of course,
I got cool stuff.
You did. You got some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. We met. Da-da-da. Yeah. So, Alex Sanchez is going to come on the show, everybody. And we didn't finish. We were working our way up to the last comic book anyway. And we told him that, we'd been working on this and going over it. And he was like, you guys are my number one fans. And we said, yes. And we own some of your artwork. And we showed it to him. And we got some autographs. And he was really, really happy. He said he hasn't had.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, he said he hadn't had a chance to talk about the comic book. Yeah, industry and stuff. So we invited him on.
He's on another channel. He talks a lot about toys, but
yeah,
he hasn't had a whole lot of Comic-Con or comics. Sorry,
comics. Yeah, like the old days of what's it like to do the art, the art and the business. So so he was pretty into it.
Wow.
And you saw him, Chris.
Yes.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was like you were like, oh look, do we know that guy? Yeah, he's and so we went right over to him. It was great. So we had a real good time.
We got somebody from York, England. Wow. From York, England.
And we have
it's like early morning for them.
Yeah, no kidding. We have some of our regulars from down under. So Baz is with us. Chris Laskowski's with us. Let's see. Welcome, Jason and Paul, and who else is on here? Dave Francoeur, awesome. Kim Harms and Paul Rotter's here. Commander Kane, Sean Shallow from Battlestar Bulletin Board. Of course, Paul is from the Colonial Warrior Facebook group, and Baz builds. Baz has his own 1-to-1 scale Mark II Viper that he's finishing up.
Done too. He just finished the front. Now he's got the back. He's starting to paint.
Yes, Fran, super fan, Fran Severn is with us. Fran, thank you so much for joining. Hope you're doing well. And of course, Georgia Kumis, one of our co-producers. George, I'm glad that you're jumping on. I know you think you're probably on set somewhere on break, but thank you. And one of our esteemed guests and friends, Chris McCauley. I grabbed some BSG novels I found at a flea market. You go, Chris. Yeah.
I got them all, man. Especially
the
original ones. If you got the original ones, they're harder to come by. I think it starts at 13, 14, 12, 13, 14.
Oh, that's cool.
The Nightmare Machine, an excellent novel.
Man. Yeah,
that one should have been another show.
That would be a great thing for another season. Guys, look, I got mine. I didn't open it, so we're gonna do this immediately after the toast, I think, right, Chris?
Sure,
and then we
why
have,
not?
Tiny Bean, and welcome to our Halloween special, right? Every show would do like a Halloween special, and we're doing yes, we have our special guest tonight. We're going to be doing some Dracula stuff. We've been exchanging info and emails with Dr. Chris McCauley, and he's back. And he's got his co-creator with him, special guest, the great grandnephew of Bram himself. And so we're going to be talking all kinds of cool Halloween stuff, as well as, our normal stuff. But Chris, should we do
Sure.
our quick? Yeah.
So we'll let you show and I'll speak.
Yes. And thank you to our sponsors, right? So John McCartney, thank you for getting us this round of nastiness that we're going to drink.
Hey, this one can't be as nasty as that coffee one was the other night. So tonight we are drinking Devil's Backbone Distilling Company Orange Smash, ready to drink with real spirits. This is 7.5% alcohol. This is a it's a vodka mix. So it is vodka with orange juice and natural citrus flavors. So that's the hence the name's Orange Smash, canned by Devil's Backbone and Distilling Company, Lexington, Virginia, and Roseland, Virginia. Don't forget to recycle those Cylons. That's about it. That they're made with premium vodka. Cool. That's all it says. So we'll give it a shot.
All right. Yeah, let's give it a shot. Yeah.
See what it looks like in the glass. I got my Blue Squadron glass. Woo-hoo.
Okay, so Mediocre Modeler's with us. Mediocre Modeler, thank you. He's got some really cool stuff, and he's been putting up some really cool videos. I got to
catch up with Ashoka before I watch his stuff. I want to watch what he's doing, but I got to do Ashoka first, and I don't want to get spoiled.
Unofficial fact checker Rob Baum is with us too.
Ashoka it's the cat thing on the head.
Stop it. So, Chris, I just wanted to let you know that, look, I picked up a Magners Irish cider glass because everything I drink, I'm going to pretend that it's Magners, especially when it's in this glass.
Make sure we hashtag Magners.
Yeah.
Not an official sponsor, but we're going to go ahead and give it a shot anyway.
Exactly.
Not the official sponsor of IFB. The fans are the official sponsor of IFB. So you ready to open these up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Uno, dos, tres.
Yeah, go. And Jason, just thought I'd mention he's part of CMOD. Fantastic. Thank you, Jason, for joining us.
Ooh, this tastes good. Okay. Ready?
Well,
see what it looks like in the glass.
Yeah, come on. Ready? Go. Pour. Don't be afraid.
It doesn't look as orange.
It
looks
color.
White.
Chris, what is this stuff that you buy, man? This is just so bizarre. It's weird, man. It's just, what the heck? Oh, it's got floaties. Why do you keep getting things with floaties in it, man?
It's got real orange bits.
Oh,
real orange bits in there.
Really weird, man.
There's some little floaties in there.
Jeez, it's disgusting. Well, okay.
Orange bits in there, that's all. Kathunk.
Look at it.
That was a big one.
Oh, my God.
A big orange.
All right.
Kathunk.
Okay.
So.
This is for the fans.
For the fans and for our livers.
Pulp. It's pulp.
It's pulp. It does look like pulp.
Nasty.
But it settles to the bottom, though. It settles to the bottom, see? I don't even
No.
see it.
Oh, it's
Yeah, it's down at the
falling to the
bottom.
bottom. Is this?
Yeah, yummy.
Did it expire?
No, it hasn't expired.
Weird, man.
It's just normal.
Last time you made me drink something that had expired, so. Oh God, yeah, mine looks just as nasty. Okay,
All
well,
right.
guys,
So,
this is not
anyways,
orange juice. It's not pulp. It's
smells
some
amazing
weird
though.
beer.
So
And
we'll let you know. So, anyways, thank you so much for everything that has been out there. Thank you to the fans for creating fandoms and keeping with those fandoms, no matter what happens. You, especially Battlestar Galactica fandom people, you know who you are, and we're still plugging away. We're still hoping. We're still praying for that new season. We're still praying for another remake. We're still hoping something's out there, but instead they're writing fan fiction and we're doing all the cool stuff. So, keep buying Battlestar Galactica ornaments and Battlestar Galactica t-shirts and what are we timing out now? I'm in the middle of something here. Come on.
our guests want to cheer with us. They want to toast with us.
Are they online? I don't have it online. I don't see them.
All right, we're gonna do it. We'll do a second toast. No problem. Don't worry about it. That's fair enough.
I'll go get hard alcohol.
Yes. Okay. Well, you got to finish
Rum.
this, Chris. Look, you were saying that we have. Look,
Yep.
there is hope, guys.
That's it.
There's this stuff.
I mean, who would have thought? I mean, they didn't do the last Battlestar Galactica ornament that they came out with was San Diego Comic-Con 2016.
And then 17, didn't they come out with the Cylon, the regular Cylon?
That was 16, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Rob, go ahead. I'm sure she'll prove me wrong anyway. But...
Bert Oliver's with us. Yeah. Bert, thanks.
So, anyways, here's to you all. I see cheers coming up and everything else. So here's to you, the fans that make the fandom and fans that fuel the fleet. Cheers.
Here's to you guys. Fans fuel the fleet, guys. Okay, that's not bad.
Oh, that's pretty damn good. That's really good. This is dangerous.
There's 7.5% alcohol in this, dude.
Well, that's like a water to me, but to you that's like any 3 sips and you're gonna be all you're gonna see is Pete fall off the camera and you're not gonna hear from him again. You hear a thud and that's about it. I'll have to call his wife and say, hey, pick him up off the floor and prop him up at least.
All right, so Chris says he needs a password. So
Password. 8675309.
No. Chris, are you gonna send him a password?
I don't know if I have his IM. Let me look him up. Why don't you talk for a second and I'll look him up.
We get Tara on. Let's get Tiny Bean on. And Tiny Bean.
I still have to work if Tiny Bean's on.
Oh, you have to work?
Yeah, I have to change the slides.
All right. Well, that's right. I forgot that it's not automatic.
Yeah.
Why don't you have 2 brains? Like Cylon.
Cylons are supposed to have more than one
Gold,
brain anyways.
Gold Centurions have 2 brains. You don't often work with the 2 brains. So I don't know. Charlene, Donatello, thank you for joining. Appreciate you coming on. Charlene and Lola are representing Battlestar Saturn in social media. They do a lot of writing. Charlene's been in the Galactica fandom for decades. So thank you for joining us. And let's see, Kim says the alcohol would kill anything bad. Yeah, yo, that's right. Except if it doesn't, I don't know if you saw the episode where Chris made me drink Vulcan ale that was in a bottle and it was like 20 years old, almost 20 years old, and it was no good. So that's the way he got back at me for making him chew a gum stick out of a sealed package of Battlestar Galactica cards. So we found some online. They were sealed. I split them up, right? I split the 4 packs for him, 4 packs for me. We opened them on air, and we dared Chris, the Tipsy Toaster, to eat one of them because you want to relive the days when you were, like whatever, 9 or 11, and you dare your friends at the cafeteria. So I dared the Tipsy toaster, and like a gentleman, he ate it, and I thought it was hysterical funny. And he said, "quote It tastes like a museum," is what I think
Yes.
he said.
Tasted
So
dusty.
yeah, dusty like a museum.
All right, Chris, that's yours.
So
I don't have the other person. Is he on Facebook?
yes.
He is. Okay. Really?
That should be that's number one, I believe. Yeah, number one, because
Chris is
he's number two.
two.
Chris is number two.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, this is actually not bad.
Really good.
And
even with the floaties.
I got to tell you that this helps, though. This makes it seem like it's a Magners, so it helps mentally.
Mentally? Okay.
Yeah, mentally. Yes. Cheers, Bert Oliver. Bert Oliver is a sci-fi author. We had him on, and we need to have him back soon so we can actually go into some more of his pretty cool military sci-fi. I want to review that. Rob says, has anyone ever sought to make an actual Romulan ale or the brandy that
Yes.
Evil Kirk sought an enemy within an episode of classic Star Trek? Yes, the answer is yes. Mary, thank you for joining us live. Mary Capizzi, thank you. And let's see.
Hey, Chris, I'm going to go ahead and send Dacer. I hope I'm saying that right.
Karen, thank you for joining us. Tara's going to be on in a minute. Chris and Pete, check your messenger. I just sent you something. Okay, I'm going to check the messenger as we speak here. But look, guys, real quick, just wanted to let you know that we did have a really good time on okay. So we have to. There's got to be a. We got to do a correction. All right, so there's a. You fixed it?
Well, working on it.
Okay, so there's a typo. We're gonna fix a typo. Thank you, Tara. And okay, good. So we're in the process.
We watch Pete tap dance
adjustments. Yeah, no kidding. All right, so thank you, Tara. Took care of that, I believe. Happy Nova Cycle Mary. So thank you. Happy birthday. Very cool. All right, Mary. Thanks for joining us. Still for vintage ambrosia. I don't know, man. Well, we had some pretty good I don't know, mead at Dragon Con, but New York Comic Con, guys, was as big and as just gigantic as it always is. The Jacob Javits Convention Center is tremendously big, and it was packed. We caught up with Chris Fian from the Empire City Garrison, the 501, and he was raising money for cerebral palsy, and we donated and had the raffle that they do, and we have a really good segment that we're going to be putting up soon. And we did do we filmed some interviews, ran into some really cool authors that we had not met before, and so we're going to bring those to you, and a couple of other interviews that we did, which was great. It's one of the big three, guys, right? So there's Dragon Con, which is a fan run convention, which has a different flavor. New York Comic Con, also gets approximately 150,000 for the whole 4-day. So it's another beast on the East Coast. And then, of course, there is, San Diego Comic-Con, which is a whole other animal. That one we haven't been to yet. I've attended WonderCon in Anaheim, California, and it's a giant convention center, and it's tremendously fun to go to that. I did that one. And we've been to a variety of conventions. And Summer Comic Book, Chris and I went to one that was in a very one small room of a hotel, and I believe the other one, if I'm not mistaken, was like a was it a VFW hall? It was something similar. It was really, really small. So we've been to like, real small stuff to really big stuff. And New York Comic Con didn't disappoint. It's gigantic. Not as many guests as you would have expected, but with the writer's strike going on and the SAG, Screen Actors Guild strike going on, of course, that's a bit of a problem, but that's okay. And it's all good, guys. It's all good. I'm looking forward to this. So I'm gonna open this up for those of you that haven't gotten one. Well, you should go out. I know that Robert Baum and I,
We're good.
We're good.
We're getting
excellent.
There. Go ahead.
Oh, look, it comes with the batteries. Okay,
wow.
So that's cool.
Right.
And
the crappy batteries, but they're batteries.
Yeah, but they're batteries. I don't know, you guys. Did yours
come
like this?
Oh, cool. All sorts of. It's nothing like having extra paper around.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you guys? Did it come with paper, or did it come with like a plastic insert? Because mine's all paper. So let's see, paper, and oh wow, that is cool. Yeah,
it's got that new Battlestar smell.
It's got the brand new Battlestar smell. Look at that.
I actually saw somebody. I can't remember which. Hang on, let me switch it back over. One of the people in put your hand behind. There he goes. One of the people have already stripped the Galactica off and put
Pegasus
on it already.
Yeah, I love it.
So they're like, I'm going to buy 6 more, so we have all of the ones that were there. And
very, very.
I think if you just crush it up really good, you can get a good picture of the Pegasus.
Stop being jealous.
Just smash it and then glue it back together, or smash it and glue it in one big ball. Then you'll have a perfect Pegasus. At least an Atlantea like that. I mean.
So this is where you put in the batteries. Little screw.
What lights up the butt?
Yeah, and the landing bays.
Oh, cool.
So as the ship is flying off, the Battlestar is flying off, you'll see the
as it explodes because the Cylons.
No, it doesn't explode.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't explode. Stop yourself.
Yeah.
This is really cool, and it's bigger than I thought it would be. So this is nice.
No comment.
Beautiful piece. Look at that.
No
comment because you didn't get one. So guys, did you? Let me see. I'm looking to see comments. We have a smaller Comic-Con here in New York. And York, twice a year at the York Racecourse as well. There's one in Leeds, amongst bigger ones here in the UK, i.e. London and Cardiff. Oh, wow. Now, that's something I definitely would love to attend. I didn't notice, guys. Did you also have yours wrapped up in paper? I'm just curious if it was in
paper or plastic.
Yeah, it was a paper or plastic because I got to save the paper to put it back in. But of course, it's going on to
just
the Christmas.
You'll have a perfect.
No, we'll not. Shut it. What's the matter with you? All right. So, no, you know what? I'm going to keep it out for today. Tonight it stays out. All right. It's going to stay out.
Do you want to see our? I think we have all our friends on.
All right. Well, let's
do another toast real quick.
Get the homework. Battlestar's wrapped in paper. Okay, Paul. Thank you. So it is, I guess, paper. It doesn't come in the plastic little insert. All right, that's all right. That's no big deal. All right, so how do you want to play this? Let's get the Tiny Bean up and running.
All right, we'll get Tiny Bean, and then we'll come back and we'll do a toast. So
yeah, we'll come back and do another toast.
Stand by.
All right, cool.
We will be with you in a momento because we have news first, and then we'll go from there. I gotta find Tiny Bean is on 3.
Tiny Bean.
There she is right there.
You
Hello.
Still got it. Hey, there we go. Hi.
There we are. How's it going,
Found her.
guys?
She's in the universe.
Cheers. Thank you.
Be a lot of drinking tonight.
That's nasty. It tastes
nasty.
like
you just said it was good.
It's like it tastes like an old Fanta, right? Like a Fanta that you've had in the refrigerator or like on a shelf for a long time.
Fine,
like
I will send you a 6-pack of that coffee stuff we had last week.
Oh, no.
So there you go, Pete. You got your choice.
Wow.
That's the nastiest beer I've ever drank in my life.
I'm going to get a Magners. You'll see.
Get a magnet.
Amazing.
So, Tiny Bean, what's cooking?
Well, I got lots of fun stuff if you're ready for me to jump in, guys.
Sure, why not?
Chris?
Always clicking the buttons behind the screen. Okay, we're good now. Ready?
All right,
All
go for
right,
it. Come on.
fantastic.
Here we go. Blam.
Hello, IFB. Happy almost Halloween. Boy, do we have a show in store for y'all tonight. But first off, welcome to Tiny Bean's Corner of the Fleet, where we talk new, interesting, and or forgotten fun stuff to check out that I think you will enjoy. It is indeed the spooky season, so it is my annual spooky segment. Let's start with up-and-coming news. There is a reason that I spent a good portion of my childhood afraid of Donald Sutherland. And that reason was a little 1978 remake of a classic 1956 film, Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes.
Great story. I mean, come on. What can I say? It's the blueprint for the terrifying alien invasion genre, right?
Yes.
That remake starred Sutherland, Jeff Goldblum, and of course another sci-fi icon, Leonard Nimoy. There have been a few different spins on it since then. Well, now it is in the hands of Star Trek Beyond's Justin Lin, and we will be getting a whole new version aimed at going right back at the source material. So, this one is just in pre-production as yet, guys. No cast, no release dates yet. But if they can get another Donald Sutherland in there, a whole new generation will have reason to scream and be terrified. So
Okay.
I'm all over this one. Next up, latest in Alien Romulus news. And you know I am following this one like a hawk. Apparently, Ridley Scott was treated to a viewing of the first rough cut. Now, Mr. Scott is not known for holding back his opinion on things. And he's not easy to please, especially here, where he's said Alien is his baby. Well, word is, he said, after having seen the screaming, this is fracking great.
Ooh.
So there you go. So, we've heard it from the big man himself. Fede Alvarez's Alien Romulus is rumored to take place in the timeline somewhere between Alien and Aliens. And luckily, it wrapped before the writer and actor strike hit, so now it is already in post-production. So it is projected to release next summer. I will be the first one in the theater.
As long as you don't get an editor's strike.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, last in preview news. I was a big fan of the Cloverfield films. Remember those?
Oh, yeah.
All sweet,
Especially
right?
the first one.
Especially the first one, right? I mean, they were all very different. I also especially loved 10 Cloverfield Lane with John Goodman. That one felt so original, and on first viewing, you didn't even realize that it was connected to the Cloverfield universe. But all very good. Word is J.J. Abrams is working on producing a Cloverfield sequel that is a direct sequel to the original film.
Oh.
That's what we've been waiting for, right?
Oh,
so
boy.
the rumors started a few months ago when the original viral marketing website that they created to stir up buzz for the secret release of the first film back in 2008 mysteriously got reactivated. So,
Oh, boy. I remember that.
you remember that?
Ooh,
Check it
yeah.
out, guys. Yeah. So this one is going to be directed by Babak Anvari. Abrams is quoted as saying, "Our take is a classic B monster movie done in a way that makes it feel very real and relevant, allowing it to be simultaneously spectacular and incredibly intimate." So, count me in, guys. That one's going to be fun. So, now,
Cool.
in reviews, keeping with our Halloween spooky theme, anyone else out there watching Follow the House of Usher on Netflix? I know we
Ooh.
previewed this one a lot, but
Yeah.
it's out there now, guys. The show is getting incredible reviews. Now, I will be the first one to say it is emphatically not for everyone. It is a hard R rating, lots of gruesomeness, sex, brutality, you name it, it's in here. But it's really good. And if you are an Edgar Allan Poe aficionado like me, you can spend every viewing minute pulling out the myriad references. It is just staggering. to give you the framework, they have taken Poe's Fall of the House of Usher story, and they're using that as the overall structure to tell different Poe stories each episode. From the Telltale Heart to the Black Cat to the Pit and the Pendulum, you name it, it's in there. There are character names like Annabelle Lee and Lenore and Arthur Pym, Ravens galore, you name it, it's all in there. As Poe is the founder of the genre in America and of the American detective story, it's about time his works have gotten the credit due with a modern spin. Like most of Mike Flanagan's work, the attention to detail is meticulous. The storytelling is tight, even when it's over the top, and the acting is on point. Special shout outs to Mark Hamill as the ultimate blood of ice, scary lawyer who handles the bodies literally. And Bruce Greenwood and Mary McDonnell as the senior Usher siblings are stupendous. Again, not for the squeamish, but if this is up your alley, you will not be disappointed. So check that one out on Netflix, guys. Now, I'd like to recommend two things for your viewing pleasure for Halloween from the Wayback Machine. Let's start with 36 years ago, October 3rd, 1987. Where were you? Well, I was watching the premiere of a little TV show called Friday the 13th, the series. Now, I so loved this show.
Love that show.
Loved it, right? Thank you, Pete. And now, it had nothing to do with Friday the 13th, the slasher films. Rather, it was about a curious goods shop that had some curious cursed objects in it. And when the owner dies, he leaves it to his niece and nephew to take over, and they are tasked with tracking down and safely retrieving these objects. It was such a great series. Scary as anything, great special effects of TV at the time. It starred veteran character actor Chris Wiggins, Canadian singer Louise Roby, and John D. LeMay. And it featured a rotating cast of fun character actors each week. The very first episode about a cursed doll even stars a young Sarah Polley in her first role. I am happy to admit that this show, though only lasting 3 seasons, has quite a cult following. There is an anthology book out about it, and I recently discovered a podcast called Curious Goods, the podcast. And it's so good.
Huh.
They deep dive into every episode. Pete, you have to check this out. You'll absolutely love it. And in a charming story, one day the creators of the podcast got an email from John D. LeMay himself praising their work. And they convinced him, though he's retired from the spotlight living in Idaho, they convinced him to come on with them. And let me tell you, he was charming and delightful and super funny. So check that out if you can. Pete, definitely check out that episode specifically. You will just be smiling from ear to ear.
I love that show.
Fun. It was so good. So good. So, and I'm also told that Paramount Plus actually has all of them. So y'all can go and binge it. So if you have Paramount, check that one out. And last up, for my, in case you missed this one, yearly Halloween treat, I'd like to talk for a second about Dan Curtis. Now, I know I've talked about Dan Curtis before. You know I'm a fan of his work. He's the man that brought us the series Dark Shadows, among other great movies and other stuff, right? Now, we could spend an entire IFB episode talking about Dark Shadows. And Pete, we need to get Rich Handley back on for that. Just remember I said
that'd be
that.
cool.
Okay? Yeah, I'm all over that. But anyway, I want to talk tonight about one of my all-time favorite, spooky favorite films, 1971's Night of Dark Shadows. What a ball this one is. With characters loosely based on the TV show, it is truly its own standalone film. Starring David Selby, Grayson Hall, it introduces a young Kate Jackson to the screen for the first time. And it also stars my favorite, Lara Parker, as the stunningly beautiful witch, Angelique Collins. This one has everything, guys. It is the perfect setting. It films largely at Lyndhurst Castle and surrounding areas in Tarrytown, New York, There are ghostly happenings, possession, and of course, the Dan Curtis touches of sweeping tracking shots, odd angles, great zooms, and especially that music. There's always that great Dan Curtis music to fit the mood. It is seriously not Halloween for me without this one. The beautiful Lara Parker recently passed away this week at age 84. So I will be raising my glass to her, and I think you guys should join me. So please check that one out. If classic spooky chills are your game, this one is for you. And that is all for the corner this week. Back to you, Pete.
Oh, thank you very much, Tara. Before we toast to the memory of Lara Parker, I just wanted to mention that Baz from Down Under says, "Good day, Tara Scully."
Hello, Mulder. How are you?
I know, Chris, you don't like these memorial things. However, since it is Halloween and we did bring it up, so here's to Lara Parker's memory.
Yep.
Cheers.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't even know that movie existed. I've talked to some crazy, Dark Shadow fans, and that never came up. So,
yeah, there were actually 2 Dark Shadows movies. This one I love, and I also love the other one. It's called House of Dark Shadows, and that one features more of the characters and the storylines kind of from the show. So it's got Barnabas the vampire in it, and and that one's also really good, really creepy.
Nice.
But Night of Dark Shadows is special, and it literally says in the beginning, "and introducing Kate Jackson."
Wow.
So, yeah.
Oh, that is cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, Charlene's yes, very scary. I remember when that was actually on the original Dark Shadows.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Good stuff. Good
heck
stuff.
yeah. Well, Tiny Bean, thank you so much for taking care of business as usual. And happy Halloween early. Hope you go trick-or-treating, and I hope you get more, treats than not.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. And I can't wait for your guests tonight. I am big fans, and I think I have all of the books, so I will be watching.
Nice. All right, cool. All right, this one's to you, Tara.
Yep. Thank you, Tara. Great job.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy. I'll see you later. Bye.
All right, now let Tim Burton's movie. Oh, forget about it. Anyway, we have special guests for our Halloween show, right? Every TV series, especially back in our day, right? The 70s and 80s. I think in the 60s too. 60s they did it because I know Star Trek did it. So they were doing it back in the 60s, and it went into I guess in the 90s a bit. They did that as well. I remember some 90210. I think they did a Halloween thing, but since
always did something.
Yeah, so since it's that time, pretty much that time of the year, we have our very special guests that we gained some very close ties with, and we are very, very happy to be able to share in their glories and help promote some of their work. And there's a Kickstarter and a whole bunch of things we're going to talk about, and it's that scary, spooky time of the year anyway. And so, without further ado, that's right. Let's have our special guests come on, and there we are. There we are. My God, welcome, guys. Welcome to IFB at the Fleet Broadcasting. Chris, are we good with audios?
I don't know.
Can we do a quick audio check, gentlemen?
Check.
Hello.
Yes. One down.
One down.
All right. One down.
And now we're good. We're good. 2 down.
All right. We're good. All right. Well,
have we entered freely?
Yes.
Yes, you have.
Okay.
Welcome.
Cool.
So, with that said, then, welcome to the shows. Let's toast to Count Dracula. And,
Cheers, guys.
What is that?
We've got something
What are we
cool.
drinking? Wait a second. You can't drink.
So Degger's got a very special beer, don't you, Degger?
is that
You've got a Halloween beer.
I got Halloween. I've got an Atomic Citrus Blood Orange beer.
That thing is amazing.
Oh yeah.
I love that one.
Just for
Fantastic.
tonight, guys.
Yeah,
Chris.
I love that one.
Boy. Hey, all right, Chris, what do you got?
I've got, so my wife was in charge of buying the beers, right? So
Okay.
because we're going to be talking about the Stokerverse, the very first Stokerverse video game tonight, she got me this, which is like, it's a video game beer. From
Analog
Analog.
brew.
It's
And
even
it is-
pixelated. That's cool.
It's even pixelated. Yeah. It's from Edmonton. It's got it's a 22% bitterness. I don't like bitter beer at all. You see, I like
Okay.
when you talk about Magners, bait.
Yeah.
I like Magners. Magners is really nice and sweet.
Oh, yeah.
It's 26 for color, and it's got a sort of midway maltiness. So whenever
What's
whenever
the
you
alcohol
pour it-
percentage? That's the important piece.
0.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. I've got a lot of
that's
work.
cool.
I have a lot of work to do, lads. You know?
Yes, you do.
Well, this is, but this is what it looks like, right?
Oh, boy, that looks good.
It's not a bad
That
thing.
looks
Yeah.
good. All right, well, cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers,
guys.
gentlemen.
Congratulations on.
Bottoms up. Congrats. Yes. Gentlemen, thank you for taking the time out and coming back again. It's Interfleet Broadcasting Halloween special, and I know that there is a lot of various projects that you are involved in, both of you together. So bring us up to speed, and don't forget the Kickstarter, because there's a Kickstarter that we want to help promote. We're going to be putting it on our website as well. So tell us what's going on. What's hot?
Well, I caught 2 fish yesterday. Up in.
Are they
does that
this
count?
big?
No,
How
no,
big are
this-
they? Are they
No, like big, like big.
like house big? Yeah.
Everything. Listen, everything that Macaulay and Stoker does in the Stokerverse is big.
Big.
Even the fish I catch. So it's big. Anyway,
Love it. Love it.
so
Oh my god.
Can Dracula eat fish blood? Wow, that's interesting. There we go.
Blood.
yeah, it's like if he could, if they have the right kind of blood, which we know there is a little bit, he can suck them dry pretty good.
Hey, when in need.
Like he's opportunistic, right? This guy has
Yeah,
hung around
absolutely.
for a long time. And listen, the direction that Stoker and Macaulay are taking Dracula, my great-granduncle started this whole thing 127 years ago. We are taking him to new places. Soon he's going to be fly fisherman with me somewhere in
There
one
you
of
go.
our future stories. But right now, let Chris tell you where,
Just not
where
during
we're
the
at.
sunlight.
He's the genius behind all the new business development. I just help him tell all the stories. But Chris, bring it right up to speed on the comics, the video games, all that good stuff.
Yeah, well, I think like primarily the Stokerverse was born because we wanted to pay tribute to the authenticity of Bram Stoker's work. What you see, and I've talked about this before, but what you see with Dracula is that it's mostly the Hollywood depiction of Dracula, which has come around since the Bela Lugosi days, where you have this very sexual, sensual version of Dracula, which is actually more akin to Lord Byron's work than Bram Stoker's. So when Decker and I came together, it was like, yeah, we want to pay tribute to Bram's work, but we want to bring Bram's work into a new century and with through different genres of entertainment. Now, we've got our comic book range, which we'll talk about in a minute together, but we also have RPG. We've got tabletop RPGs. We've got a video game coming out. We've got a miniature war game that's out at the minute. We've got audios. We've obviously got novels. But all of that stuff we sit and we think about and say, would Bram like this? So Bram's very much in our minds whenever we start to craft stuff in the Stokerverse.
And it's incredible, Chris, if I may jump in.
Yeah,
Bram
go ahead,
Bram left us some notes. He left us a journal, and he left a typescript. So Chris and I are like doctors. We surgically go into these source documents that Bram Stoker used in his research, and we extract things that either made it into Dracula but in a minor way, or we extract things that were in his mind in his process of researching and writing Dracula, but he didn't actually put in the novel, or maybe his editor chucked it out. So what we've got is really privileged stuff that can say this was in Bram's mind when he was doing his research and writing a Dracula. We have now kept it alive, immortalized it, and bring it back in one of these different forms, either in the games, board games, RPG, video, any that stuff. So it's kind of like digging for treasure. And what can Stoker Macaulay give to the people that we're working with in these different ranges to use it in a way that, as Chris just said, got to pass the Stoker Macaulay test to make sure we feel that it's in keeping and appropriate to Bram's kind of way of thinking. We've even done things like, okay, he was writing it during this time, 1890, 1897. What else was going on? What other characters were going on in literature that he would have been aware of on stage? Obviously not on screen yet, but those are the things that we have. That's our sandbox. That's what we play with. And Chris is just a genius in sort of creating ways to sort of bend things around, move things, minor modifications. So just need to throw that in. We come with source material that not many other people have ever had a chance to work with.
Wow, that's incredible. And that's what's so fascinating. So there's a couple of things that are about to, I think, be released. So Chris, you and I, we kind of went back and forth a little bit off camera earlier. There's a couple of projects. Can you enlighten us a little bit?
Yeah. So actually, one of the images you shown, that isn't Stokerverse. That's actually something else. But I'm not going to talk about that tonight. But I'll talk about it with you later on. That's another project that's coming out. So I'm not sure if it's John that's doing it. If he goes a couple more images along, but yeah. So let's talk about Dracula: The Return, Cult of the White Worm. Okay. So
yes.
First issues out. I know you've got a copy of it, Pete.
I do.
Did you?
I do.
Did you enjoy it?
I sure did. Absolutely.
Right. So this is a continuation of the Dracula novel. Decker has got a copy behind him. There we go. That's also not Stokerverse. There we go. Yay! There we are. Right. So this is an image of issue 2 of one of the pages of issue 2 of Cult of the White Worm, and in this you'll see a new character that we've crafted, who kind of has a bit of a link to vampire lore, Countess Carmilla. And there was an all-Irish gentleman called Sheridan Nafani, and he wrote Carmilla. I think it was 26 years before Dracula Decker, if I'm right. It's 26 years. So what? There we go. There we are. So what Decker and I are doing is we're building up this entire sort of Dracula universe or Stokerverse, and we're also incorporating with issue 2 the homages to characters like Carmilla. There's going to be new characters as well put in there, and a very special side strip that potentially reveals who Dracula was in real life. And it wasn't Vlad III, it was somebody that Bram Stoker knew. So Decker, do you want to elaborate a little bit on that one?
Okay, so Chris, if I go too far, like press that buzzer or the kind of
just scream real loud.
Yeah. Say no, don't say that. Yeah, don't say that.
Yeah.
Oh, good. You got some good pictures. So yeah, what Bram did in his writing, he was so good at using real people, real places, real things, real events in Dracula, and it made the story feel real. He merged characters together. He merged places. He merged a castle in Cruden Bay, Scotland, together with Bran Castle in Transylvania to make Bram's fictional castle Dracula 400 miles north of Bran Castle. But most importantly, he did his research. He found information on Vlad Dracula III, who was a prince of Wallachia, and he moved him into the count from Transylvania. But he only used his backstory and his name. But there was another character that was more influential that Bram actually knew, that played the role of Mephistopheles on the stage in the Lyceum Theater, and that's the devil. Bram Stoker was creating a devil incarnate when he was creating Dracula. And so he saw this fellow playing Mephistopheles for 27 years. And this was an image of a real life, a vampire. I mean, he wasn't a vampire, he was the devil, but you could argue that he is a vampire. And he merged it with the attributes of Vlad the Impaler, and the fact that one of the books he read in Whitby Museum Library, and one book that he read in the London Library by another guy mentioned that Dracula was known as the devil. So the name devil and Dracula is one portion of it. Vlad the Impaler, throw a little bit of him in, and then this Mephistopheles character. So, Chris, I'll leave it up to you to do the honors if you want to say the person's real name. It's okay with me, because it is somebody Bram knew very closely, and I think dominated Bram in a way, kind of like Dracula did to Harker. So, Chris, do the honors, buddy.
And he wrote a biography of this person as well. Do you know what? I don't think I'll give away the name. I don't. I think I'll leave it. I'll tell you why. Because you've got to follow along with Dracula Return, the official Facebook group, right? And that's where they'll find it. That's where they'll find it. I've got to get people there, right?
Excellent.
Because you're going to get to see more artwork from the comic book as we start to reach our targets. You're going to see some very special videos that Decker and I recorded in Francis Ford Coppola's house. So you have to join up to see that video.
Okay, hold time out for a sec. Do these guys know what I just did 2 weeks ago?
No, go ahead. Tell them.
Chris said, Dacer, this is brilliant. We got to do an interview. I was in New Orleans doing some events, and I subtly dropped. I said, the person that I'm working with, Marita Crandall, who owns the Vampire Cafe, Boutique de Vampire, and this wonderful new restaurant, The Apothecary, and also a speakeasy. She's friends with Francis Ford Coppola, who owns a home like 4 blocks from her store. She said, "Do you want to stay in Coppola's house?" I go, "Yeah, do I want to stay there? That is really cool." And so she set that up for me, and I said, "Hey, Chris, guess what? Guess where I'm staying?" He goes, "Dacer, we got to do a video from there promoting Dracula Return #2." Well, guys, I walked upstairs. I was staying actually in Francis's room, where his typewriter is and everything else. But upstairs is they've turned it into this vampire suite. It is so cool. But you know what was up there? A prop from one of my favorite films, Apocalypse Now.
Oh.
And what was there?
One of my favorite.
Okay. So this blew me away when there was this blue, like Union Army hat.
Yep.
Leaning up on a chair. This was the hat that Robert Duvall wore in that incredible scene. I love the smell of
napalm in the morning.
Oh, yes. I knew you were going to say that. I just had a feeling. That's awesome.
And it's like, oh my God, it's just sitting there. And then other movie posters. It's like that room is not open to public yet. So here's all this stuff hanging around. So Chris said, Dacer, we got to do this promotion video for our Zoop campaign. So yeah, we did, and it was kind of dark in there, Chris, wasn't it? It was kind of murky.
It's a beautiful looking house. I mean, you were showing me bits of it. It's lovely. I mean, and I think, you've got to come to join our Facebook group to see this. This is going to be released very soon.
Which Facebook group is it?
So it's Dracula the Return. And Decker and I have also done a couple of other videos, start to tease out the comic a little bit more as well. So you'll find out more gradually as our Zoop campaign continues. And I've been told by our publisher that there's outtakes, funny outtakes. Decker, you and I didn't realize that we did. And that's coming as well for followers.
Oh, no. He told us he wasn't going to put those in.
He's going to do it. He's going to do it. So that's okay. That's fine. That's all right. So look, Dracula Return issue 1, if you didn't pick it up, you can get it on our Zoop campaign along with issue 2. Issue 1 obviously shows how Dracula returns and sets the stage for his revenge that we start to see in issue 2. There's also a wonderful side strip in there that shows Renfield what Renfield was doing before he went to Dr. Seward's asylum. And there's a couple of little text-based stories as well. There's a little text-based story about the Coachman. And what's very interesting about Stoker versus Coachman is that we don't do what the cinematic Draculas do. We don't have the Coachman being Dracula himself coming to meet Harker, because Bram originally intended for Dracula's castle to have several servants in there as well. It wasn't that Dracula was on his own. So we've kind of tied that in, and the Coachman, as you start
there
to
we go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, as you start to see, the Coachman has a little connection to Jonathan Harker.
Nice.
And how Harker may have escaped the castle. So there's little bits there.
Let me say this, guys. This is one of those cool pieces that Bram wasn't able to finish or include in the novel. So think about it for a moment. Those that have read the novel or seen movies, it's not usually depicted that the Count leaves with his boxes of dirt and his gypsies, and they head off, and they get the dirt onto the ship, the Demeter, and head off to Whitby. It's never written how Harker actually escapes, but in the notes, Chris and I were left with some interesting little tidbits that we have used. And Chris, can you tell him where else you've used this? Yeah.
How can I put? I'm trying to do this because I don't want to spoil it for people. But we have one of the hints. I can hint a little bit. There's a scene, and if you think Dracula, if you look at the cinematic Dracula, it's always done very romantically. It downplays the viciousness of Dracula. So what the Stokerverse does is we're bringing back the viciousness. Dracula's like a spider in a web. He's a very intelligent individual, but he's extremely violent. And if you remember the scene where we've got the three weird sisters or brides, as they're mostly known, and they come off Harker, and Dracula gives them a baby to feed upon. I mean, that's quite a horrific scene.
Yeah,
I think
brutal.
Sort of I've described it as the woman pulled the child apart as if it's a piece of KFC chicken. But that's kind of what it's like, and Harker's witnessing this, and they're ripping this child apart, and they're feeding this upon this child, and there's a woman below. It's the child's mother. She's banging on the door. She wants her child. Now, what more horrific scene can you have? We've linked the Coachman to that scene. I'm not going to tell you how, because that would be a spoiler.
You got to get the magazines, or you have to get the games.
You have to get that. You have to because the Stokerverse tells an entire story over all these genres, and I think that's what makes it a truly multimedia.
And they're linked. They're linked.
Not everything's linked.
Yeah.
But we've done it like we've in issue 2, we've got our main strip, we've got our side strip, and we have something else that Decker and I have done, and you'll see it in the RPG, where we have taken various other monsters like Jekyll and Hyde, Frankenstein's creature, heroes like Sherlock Holmes, and we've Stokerfied them. We've basically imagined what they would have been like if Bram Stoker had created these characters, and this is part of the whole verse. And I mean, Decker, you can talk about this, but Bram Stoker and Sherlock Holmes, or the creator of Sherlock Holmes, Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yeah. We did it. We did it in a genuine way, because I've seen correspondence between the two of them. I've seen articles that Bram wrote about Conan Doyle. Conan Doyle wanted to bring one of his short stories to the Lyceum Theatre. Bram helped him do it. They were very tight. But most importantly, there was a really cool letter that he wrote to Bram Stoker, congratulating him on the novel Dracula, and he says it is the best story of diablerie I've read in a long time. I especially like the old man Van Helsing, and the women are very believable as well. So these guys were tight, both very interested in spiritualism, the occult. It's just that Conan Doyle had got more publicity because of it. Bram had to be an upstanding theatrical manager, so you don't see him listed, in at meetings of the Order of the Golden Dawn or Hellfire Club. But he had interest in those things. He was a Freemason, by the way. But
wow.
many people had those very interesting otherworldly interests going on, and Conan Doyle and Bram shared that. So it made total sense for Chris and I to put a Sherlock style character into the novel.
Very cool. That is incredible. And it just goes on. I mean, it goes from, the written word, and there's a different versions of Dracula on film and TV. And now the both of you have been able to turn this into an old style video game. So tell me more about that, guys.
Well, here's the thing. So as I said earlier, we examine everything and we wonder would Bram approve. So when we look at the tabletop RPG, everybody who's played an RPG knows it's got, like, the form of role playing. It's like a form of acting, right? Bram was very passionate about that, and it enables us to bring people into Bram's world in a way that wasn't possible during Bram's time. But with a video game, we knew we could take that to a whole new level, where you could play through, the first level, you play through Harker escaping the castle. You encounter various creatures that Bram wrote about in the castle. So he had crafted these ape-like creatures that you encounter in the miniature tabletop game and now in the video game as well, and all sorts of manner of undead nasties that Decker and I have crafted. This is a little. I don't even know if Decker's seen this yet. This has just been released to me today.
Excellent. So we have a scoop. Yes.
Yeah, nobody else has seen this. Yeah. So this is a if you've ever played a Metroidvania, so a Castlevania sort of Metroidvania style game, this is what this is. It's going to be available on Steam, PlayStation 4, Xbox. We also have limited edition cartridges for Game Boy Advance, Mega Drive, and Super Nintendo. We will have a collector's edition that will have a vinyl soundtrack, and we also may, oh God, I'm not even know if I'm allowed to say this, but because you guys are friends, there may be a toy line linked to this as well.
No.
So I don't even know if Decker knew that, but that's essentially what
I've been fishing for 4 days. I haven't heard all the good news yet.
So we do have all this stuff going on. You're going to be able to upgrade your character. It moves the Stokerverse on a little bit more. So you originally play as Jonathan Harker, and that pushes the game on then to the second stages in World War One, and you play as some of the progeny of characters from the original Dracula novel, and then it kind of moves into a little bit more of the supernatural stuff. And really, what Countess Carmilla is doing to kind of stoke up a worldwide conflict, because the vampires want a worldwide conflict for a particular reason. It also moves into Lovecraftian territory as well in the game.
Wow.
So Decker and I are very proud of this. I think it's one of those things that once you get into video game territory, you really know your franchise is taking off. And we've done this in 2 years.
That's
I remember
incredible.
We signed. I think we signed our first deal about 2 years ago. Very close to this deal.
Wow.
And it shows the power of the Stokerverse. It shows that there's a hunger for the. I term it as the real Dracula, and I don't mean that as any disrespect to filmmakers or anybody who's written different types of Dracula. I've written different types of Dracula as well, away from the Stokerverse that are different. But it shows the power of what Bram and Decker's family have created and protected over the years as well.
Yes.
I think this is another thing that the Stoker family have really protected this. And as an
Well,
Irish person,
as much as we can, it is public domain,
yeah,
but we can protect Bram's work that haven't been published, like his journal that I found, and things that are sitting in the notes. So it's really important and not that easy to do. As Chris and I have had many discussions about, all right, we can use public domain stuff, but what's kind of better is if we take some privileged things that haven't been published that we have found and kind of dug up and brought back to life. Chris, the other thing it really shows too, and you got to give yourself some credit, is with the creativity that you have shown here, there's a lot of faith now in these different companies that are spending a lot of money in development of these games. Nightfall Games, Crooked Dice 7 TV, and now IncuBait and Spacebot on the videos. This stuff just doesn't happen by itself. It's
Right.
like big commitment.
It takes a champion.
With a lot of
Yeah.
money. And it's like they got to make sure that Stoker Macaulay can deliver the goods, and Chris is a genius at doing that.
that's very kind of you, mate. Yeah, I mean, I think we're a very good team, and we had this kind of independent financial assessment for other things that are going on that you know about, Pete. But there's other things that are going on at the minute. Very, very big things in the Stokerverse, which I'm very excited about. But the independent financial assessment was that there's been over $1.5 million spent on these products, of investment money, of all that sort of stuff. So that's to me that's an incredible amount. That
In a short period of time.
that companies are willing to put in, and there's more to come. There's a lot more to come. I just can't talk about it at the minute, but there's an awful lot more to come from Decker and myself. But we really want to get issue 2 out. We've with Dracula Return, we've packed this full of extras. Basically, our publisher's going, you can't no more. Stop it. we keep writing more, and we're going to. I've got an agreement with them today as well that there's going to be a piece about Freemasonry, magic, and
excellent.
And Bram Stoker. I'm a Freemason. It's cards on the table. Most people do know this. You Google me. I'm a Freemason, and I've been researching Bram's involvement there in Masonry. But there's a lot of stuff about the occult. I mean, in the Victorian era, people were obsessed with it, and Egyptology as well.
Yes,
Ooh,
and
that's cool stuff.
Jewel of
stuff.
Jewel of 7 Stars, which I would urge people to read, is one of Bram's sort of short novellas. I think you call it novella. It's a brilliant book, and it shows the genius of Bram Stoker away from Dracula. Because Bram Stoker wasn't just somebody who wrote one book. Bram Stoker was somebody who wrote drama, he wrote poetry, he was a painter, he was an artist, he was a theatre critic, he was somebody who cared very, very much about the arts. And he wrote, fantasy and cosmic horror. He was kind of the Neil Gaiman of the day, as far as I was concerned. And I always urge people not just to read Dracula, and everybody does this time of year, but read some of his other short stories. Decker and I came together and we wrote a graphic novel called The Virgin's Embrace, which was the first Stokerverse graphic novel. And it was an update on the now unfortunately titled Squaw. But, it was one of Bram Stoker's famous short stories. And we wrote that. That was our first thing we did in the Stokerverse. And we want to continue making more stuff about Bram's short stories, and there's another one that I love called The Judge's House, which is really, really dark. it's and I think that Bram more than equaled Edgar Allan Poe in the work he did. So I always try and spend this this time period. People talk about Halloween, and we talk about Dracula, and we focus on Dracula, but also to look at the other stuff. BBV actually produced a audio which is a prequel to Jewel of 7 Stars, called The Sorceress of the Nile, And Jewel of Seven Stars was pivotal in the Universal's Mummy films as well. So go and check that out.
Wow.
So yeah, there's a lot that Bram did that the Stokerverse is kind of tying in with the Dracula universe. And we're very passionate about bringing Bram's works to the public and to this new generation as well.
That's incredible. Chris, that is so cool. I really enjoy all of this stuff. I'm enjoying a lot of just all of the work that you're doing. I'm glad that we've had a chance to, catch up, so to speak, and discover. I knew that this was out there, right? So I knew that this was out there, but once we had our discussion and then I actually picked one up. I'd seen this in the comic book store, and then I ordered my own. I got this, and I was more than impressed. And the more I hear about where you guys are going, it's just phenomenal. It's well deserved. I'm surprised that it took this long, but that's better late than never. And I am waiting now for the game. And did you say that it's going to be on PlayStation or not?
It'll be on PlayStation, yeah. So PlayStation 4, 5,
Excellent.
all the various Xboxes, I think, Series X and stuff like that. We're going to be
Wow.
on Steam, PC. But the big thing, I think, for retro fans, and here's the other thing, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. There was a series of terrible video games that came out labeled Bram Stoker's Dracula in the 90s.
Yes.
They
That's
were
right.
dreadful. They had nothing to do with Bram Stoker's estate, nothing to do with anything. And they came out on the Nintendo and they came out on the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive.
Yeah.
And I was desperate to redress that balance. So when Spacebot said, "Hey, we'll do cartridges for the Game Boy, we'll do cartridges for Super Nintendo, we'll do cartridges for Mega Drive," it was very important for me to do that, and we will have an edition that will be put in a coffin box, and Decker's going to be signing some of those cartridges.
Oh, excellent.
So they'll be extra special. And actually, I think whenever you open up the coffin box, there's going to be silk lining. I had to actually design. I had to sit there and go, "There's going to be red silk lining inside the coffin-shaped box." But so this is it's a very special release for us because it kind of does hopefully redresses the stuff that went on in the 90s with some of the Dracula video games. And we have used Bram's influence in the games, but we've pushed it forward as well in the timeline, and we've wondered what it will be like for the characters, 1911 to 1915, what would actually happen there, and Carmilla is a very important figure in the Stokerverse. I wouldn't say she's a likable character, but she's a very powerful character, and you'll see more of what she's up to with her uncle Dracula in that game. Playable demos coming out in a couple of days' time, 25th.
Outstanding.
So what I'll do is I will send you guys a link, and you can get it up there, and we'll try and get as many people playing as possible.
Okay, we could do that. We can help with that. Absolutely. Oh man, this is so exciting. It's so my perspective on this is Dacer. We'd actually with Chris, we had discussed our encounter with the original book and the character last time that Chris had come on the show, and I was always a fan growing up, and then eventually, by the time I had gotten to junior high school, I actually got to read Dracula, and it was impactful. It was like, wow, so like at 14 or 15, when you actually read the book itself. However, if you think enough about the backstory, and you think about, okay, so this is as terrifying as it is, and this story is so good. Whatever happened to the family. Like, Bram was this tremendous individual, and back in the day before the internet, it would take it would take a little bit to try to find information on any favorite writer of any era, but to know and to learn about how much the family and the descendants of Bram are still involved, and that this was something that was not a passing hobby, so to speak, but that that you guys are still out there is just beyond cool. That both of you are here, but to know that the family is still involved in this just brings it into a whole other level. So I really, really got to tell you how much we really appreciate you sharing your stories and coming to us and telling and our fans. I know they love this stuff.
Well, Pete, thank you. That means a lot. It was a big gap in many years until the family got re-involved. Bram was one of 7 kids, and only 3 had offspring. Only 2 had offspring still alive today. So
Wow.
I'm kind of the one guy. Although there are some great grandsons that have interesting information, they funnel it to me. They send me stuff, or I go find it in their attics. But it's neat to keep that. It's true,
Yeah,
really
that's
true.
cool.
But it is it's important to us to keep the legacy alive, and as Chris said earlier, to promote and protect. It's every now and then I catch people on the internet selling ripped off Bram Stoker's signature and have to go to lawyers and find cease and desist letters, all that stuff, because we want to do Stoker Macaulay do the authentic stuff.
Yep.
And the Bram Stoker estate is on the up and up and all authentic stuff, and it is important. It's cool when the family of such important piece of literature that have made
Yes.
such a massive impact on the world.
Yep.
The whole genre of horror highly affected. You guys earlier in the show talked about Dark Shadows. All those things you think about would not really have been around in the same way had
Oh,
Bram
very
Stoker
true.
not
Yeah.
so started. So thank
And
you
I think-
for having us, and thanks for the interest.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
just want to interject on one point. There's a wonderful piece of merchandise that the Bram Stoker estate has, and everybody loves these.
Oh,
Right? Okay.
excellent.
If you notice the version of the book, it's the original version of the book, and Bram's got his, look how beautiful that is as a
That's
bobblehead,
excellent.
right? And if you purchase one of these, you will get a certificate from Decker Stoker that'll be signed of authenticity for this.
Outstanding.
It's officially licensed,
I really like
officially
this.
licensed material.
Yeah. Really like it. Really like it. So just wanna-
BramStokerEstate.com. That's where you can get these things, and
Okay.
I ship them out myself, sign everything. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, that is so cool. Wow. See that?
Thank you, Chris.
It just
Yeah.
all our fans, it pays to stop at the IFB because you never know what's gonna be exposed. We're going to the heart, like we tell everybody when we go to conventions and outings, Chris. We try to bring the cream of the crop whenever possible, and you guys obviously you're at the heart of all this, and how would we know? I mean, there's limits. Nobody knows everything. So this is just phenomenal. A whole other
And go to
element.
the signature shop, and you'll see the stuff in it.
Is it that?
Oh my God, that is
Do you have the ties in there as well, isn't it, Decker? I wear the tie quite a lot.
The ties in
Tie.
there.
The tie's great.
Those are first edition Dracula books. Yeah.
Oh, that
Ties,
is cool.
ties are great. I always get asked. I actually have a couple of kids' books coming out, and one of them's a Halloween kids' book. And I was wearing the tie, and a couple of the teachers. I went to some of the schools to read out some of the stories, and the teachers were always asking me about the tie. So yeah, it's a talking point.
Ah, I see.
There we go.
Excellent.
That's what the Tipsy Toaster needs right there.
Yep, Tipsy Toaster needs at least one. So yeah, we may have a Christmas present in the making. However, gentlemen, this is an ongoing adventure, and not only are we honored that you took the time out to come and share all this with us and giving us the backstory and the inside. And hey, Tipsy, can you go back up? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, Tipsy just ordered the collector's bundle. I literally just ordered
nice.
it while we were talking online.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I actually joined
Thank
your
you.
Facebook group, so
I
that's
can't
out
find the
there. to
Facebook
me.
group. What's the name of it?
It's
It's
Dracula
Dracula
the
Return,
Return.
isn't it?
Dracula
Yeah.
the Return. I don't.
yeah.
Dracula
This is
Return.
And
what
you'll see-
pops.
You'll see this image is used
Yeah.
on that. So that's the one. So I signed up for it. So we recommend our IFBers to
I
get
don't
out
see
there,
it.
and if you're into Dracula, then
Spell
go
it
ahead
wrong?
and this is the real deal. Yeah, it doesn't get any more real than this, authenticity wise and the like. And hey, it's Halloween, a Halloween show, so that's special in and of itself. And we got some looks into some of those unique and premiere of the digital imagery for the digital game, which is really really cool. So the video game, and I'm looking forward to all of this. Also, looking forward to both of you coming back and giving us more updates as things progress. Because I know there's going to be bigger. I know there's bigger and better. Chris, you alluded to them earlier, and so I would love
Yeah.
to. I would
Well-
love to have both of you come back with some more news.
Certainly, and for the dinosaur images that you showed, which was explosive, I will come back to that. I will come back.
Oh,
to that.
yeah.
I can say that's a new franchise that I'm starting, and the artist is a chap who worked on Jurassic Park and Jurassic World.
Ooh,
But I'm not
incredible.
allowed. I am
Cool.
not allowed to. I am not allowed at the minute to say
Incredible.
anything more. So there
Well,
you go. So we can do that. I'll leave it
Perfect. We got the follow all set, and then of course there'll be more. There'll be more Dracula. So we want to know more about that, and we wish you both more, bigger and better, and
I
much
can't-
success.
Yeah, I can't wait to get mine.
Yes.
Thank
Tipsy
you very
Toaster.
much, guys.
Yeah, no,
Thank you,
Awesome.
and,
Very
and to
much.
all you listeners.
Thank you.
Safe
Thank
and
you.
spooky season, guys. Safe
Yeah.
and spooky.
Absolutely. Bottoms up.
Yep.
Fans fuel the fleet,
Fans fuel
and
the fleet.
cheers to all of you guys. Thank you. Did you notice how it all settled to the bottom?
Just shake it
That
up.
looks horrible. That looks horrible.
It is. Yes, it does. Thank you. Thank you. It's not only me. All right. Well, gentlemen, all the best. And upwards and onwards, like I said, incredible. Loved having our guests on. This is just incredible stuff. Tipsy, what do you think, man? I was always a Dracula fan. I loved Count Dracula.
I'm a history buff, so I really like to find out more and more about something that's based in, whether it be true or whether it be based on an individual. It makes something like Dracula more interesting. I think it gives you the opportunity to explore that universe a little bit more than normal. I mean, somebody can make something up science fiction wise, or somebody can make something, but if somebody bases something in regards to an actual person or an actual event or
Yeah.
something like that, it makes it so much more interesting. It makes it so much more I don't know, real is not the right word, but it makes it more fun.
Context.
Yeah, it
gives it context.
gives you a basis for something that's
Oh, yeah.
fantastic. So
Oh yeah.
I think
this
it's really cool that these guys are chasing the dream of a Dracula and find out what he was saying, he's going to go search through people's attics and find those mystery
relatives. Yeah.
relatives and find those
Yeah.
mystery pieces and put
That are-
those together
Yeah.
into either a graphic novel or a comic or an audio book or whatever it may be.
Oh yeah.
That's a passion. I love
Yeah.
to see, I love to see somebody that goes out and grabs a passion, grabs that dream and moves forward with it. So, hey, let's find out more about this. Let's that's that what if.
the tangible
thing.
side of it,
exactly.
as Mike says.
It's great.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I ordered. I went ahead and ordered the collector's bundle while we were sitting here. So I was like, yeah, hell yeah, this looks.
Mary
great.
says next week I'm going to Ballet Dracula. Okay, that's interesting. What? Yeah. Let's see. Bert Oliver's telling us it makes it well grounded. That's exactly it.
Yep.
And so I don't know. Kim says we have that ballet here too. It was my youngest daughter's first time at the ballet. She was 4. Really interesting.
Dracula. Well, it would be funny. Like Chris was talking about how, some of the really gross stuff. I don't think they're going to put that in that ballet, are they?
Yeah, right. This is. You got to get this. This is incredible. Cult of the White Worm. This is really something.
And that's part of the. Yeah, I guess the collector's bundle I just ordered.
Okay, so you're going to get on it. Yeah, Cult of there it is. Chapter 1. Right. So we look forward to the rest of what's going on, and I know that Dr. Chris McCauley is moving in many different circles. I know he's juggling a lot of various projects, and I believe we're going to be putting up. There is a Kickstarter.
It's a passion. So you're talking about the Zoom thing I just ordered it from.
Fan.
It's a fan type thing.
Too,
yeah. So
we love that.
Yeah, so that's what I just ordered from was the Zoop. I've never seen Zoop before. Let me find it. Hang on.
That's interesting.
Sure
but yeah, so the idea being that there's many other projects coming out, and last time
this is the Zoop. I never heard of Zoop before, but I guess it's the
either. But Chris McCauley, last time he came on, he told us about some of the other projects that and franchises that he's working on, and all of it is impressive. And I mean, to have Dacer Stoker come, the great grandnephew of Bram himself is so just crazy cool. Who would have ever thought, right? As a kid, Chris, being exposed to, the Dracula movies and whatever was out when we were growing up, and to stop and think that one day we would actually be talking to and interviewing one of, Bram's descendants is just nuts. So cool. Looking forward to the rest of, everything that they do. And I'm glad that we have the connection, and they'll be back, I'm sure, with more news. And we're going to be putting up on IFB some links, and it's about Zoops like Kickstarter for comics. Oh, okay. Thank you for Ian Elliott for giving us that. Mike DeBrune is up and watching with us as well. Dracula on the Ice will be next.
Well, I guess you could say he's already dead, so he's already on ice. I mean,
well, listen, let's wish everybody a safe and happy Halloween, being that this is our Halloween special.
Yes.
However, I do want to end tonight with the fact that we have a new editor for The Stranded Warrior, our Battlestar Galactica fan film. So, Jay, thank you for joining the team.
Fans
here's to you. Thank you very much. He's a Battlestar Galactica fan from back in the day. He's read over the script.
You're falling behind there, buddy. Shake that up a little bit and drink it, will you?
Oh, there's no shaking.
There's a little bit. Yeah, just stir it a little bit. There, it's like that. Yeah, it kind of mixes in.
It tastes just. Oh my god,
it tastes amazing. Okay. What are you talking about?
It's like a nasty Fanta. But anyway, so Jay, thank you for joining us.
Amazing.
And like we had mentioned before, that in terms of the teaser is one thing. Now we're focusing, in terms of The Stranded Warrior, we're focusing on finishing the film. Our audio engineer has sent us.
I'll send Jay, just so you know, that link is coming to you tomorrow. So you'll have all the audio.
Yes, so he's got access. So our editor has full access to all of the scenes that Chris and I have been working on. So we have everything pretty much set up, a narrative. I know that Dorian Key, award-winning sci-fi author and talented music composer, has been working on an
Amazing.
original score for The Stranded Warrior, and we're working on getting hoodies out, followed by some of the promotional material, the perks, and we're moving,
Mail
guys.
out
I mean,
that
it's
helmet,
happening.
too.
Yeah, the helmet's gonna be mailed out. So,
Yep.
Doug, thank you
I don't
for all of
want to
that.
let it go, though.
Well, yeah.
My
My bottom
precious.
line is it's tough to the idea that, God forbid we need to do some reshoots. That's more or less
think
why
we're
we've
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Once that goes out, once the helmet goes out, guys, there is no revisiting anything. That's
Right.
the end of that.
But Chris
So,
has the Cylon dagger.
yes, Chris has the Cylon dagger, but extra pulp. That's right, Mike. All right. Well, looking forward to our next show, guys. Happy Halloween in the meantime.
Next show, we'll
and
we'll hang on. Right.
there is almost 20,000 views on the teaser, right? So thank you everybody for watching the teaser of The Stranded Warrior. It's out there. And thank you all for watching Interfleet Broadcasting here on our little corner of the universe. You guys are awesome, and we look forward to seeing more. As a matter of fact, any of you that are going to
Chiller Theater?
is the Chiller Theater convention. So I'll be there with Professor Patton, and I believe John One will be joining as well. And we are going to, visit that convention. It's been around for a while. So if you're headed that way, please let us know.
Yeah, and next week, don't forget, we'll talk a little bit more about an upcoming interviewee, which is
yes,
so
that's right. So he's coming our way.
Yep.
And
we'll get you more information when he is lined up. But he said he was coming, so that's exciting because it was amazing to meet him at New York Comic Con.
yeah.
So
that's
cool.
right. Well, guys,
right,
don't forget to support all of the other social media magnets that are out there. A lot of the guys, whether it's Mediocre Modeler, Battlestar Bulletin Board, Battlestar Saturn, Baz, or CMod, any of the others that are part of our, including, all the Reimagined, we support the entire franchise, guys. So don't forget to like and subscribe to both IFB and The Stranded Warrior, and we're going to keep you up to speed with everything that's going on. And hey, stay safe and go trick-or-treating on Halloween.
Yeah, no kidding.
And
enjoy. I mean,
enjoy and be careful.
If you dressed up like a Cylon, that's the best. So the rest of them are Colonials rule, Cylons rule.
Yeah. Keep the faith, everybody.
And don't forget, order your, and once again, we don't make any money off of this, but show your support for Battlestar Galactica by ordering your keepsake, Hallmark keepsake ornament. So
and
what?
And the rewind, right?
Oh yeah, the rewind.
Yeah, which we didn't see
about that right now.
Anyways, at New York Comic Con.
Yeah, we did not see any of the rewinds at Comic Con.
This is so cool, guys. Look at this. This is so cool.
So once again, thank you for joining us. We will be back in transmission range next Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We look forward to seeing you again then. And until then, remember that fans fuel the fleet. So y'all take care.
Yes, you guys. Take care. Fans fuel the fleet.